up everybody, how y'all doing? And welcome to Game of the Month Super Metroid Edition. The series that had 3 Super Metroids aligned for this episode and I managed to fuck the order even more. And what do I mean by that? If you wanna know what a Super Metroid is, watch the Super Metroid video I made a long time ago, come on, watch it. It's not that good but it's watchable. Did you watch it? Oh crikey, you did? My god, get the camera, somebody watch it! Well, if you still are not sure what I mean when I say this game is a Super Metroid, don't worry. You're probably going to get what I mean by the end of this video. And why this is out of order? Well, you see, by the title you can tell this was going to be Game of the Month episode 6. However, the next episode of Game of the Month was going to come out in August no matter what. And August is the release month of both the Famicom and NES versions of the first Metroid. So I looked at this list and thought, well, I talk about 2 Metroids and 3 Super Metroid. And I'd love to release something on Metroid's birthday. So here we are today, I changed the order. Now Katie will look at me and say, you are a bloody idiot. You do not need to tell us that, nobody would notice. And I respond, this is Game of the Month, I don't even think people care. I am a funky little c***. And I think it's way funnier to release Game of the Month 6 before I release 3. Everybody on the same rhythm? Let's start the dance. Listen, I want everybody to repeat it, okay? You does not hate Ocarina of Time. Now you say it. Say it again. One more time to really drill it in. Okay, so you got it that I don't hate this game, right? I'm going to shit talk it no matter what. Main problems I always had with Ocarina of Time is that A. This game is basic. This smells of blueprint. Is it a bad blueprint? No, it's a blueprint. And B, which is probably the biggest problem, this game is never on high gear and is on constant low gear. Is it the lowest gear? No. Well, sometimes. There are times in this game when you think, god damn, I'm going on reverse. First of all, this game is slow, maybe too slow, and being slow like that completely breaks the exploration. You are going at a speed of 5 meters per hour. You don't want to see what's over the horizon at 5 meters per hour, you want to get to the fucking objective. Especially because there is not much of a horizon here, but alas. And exploration itself becomes another problem because this game is on rails. Not even good rails. This game is a lot of walking to get to the next fun thing you can do. And the getting there is not even fun, it's the anti-burnout paradise. But it doesn't even matter because 5 seconds after you get there, the fun thing you were here to do is over and you have to walk for 5 hours to get to the next one. And keep in mind, the fun thing you were there to do was the most basic, wow, that was entertainment. It's a video game equivalent of voting on a movie not because it's a good movie, but because the void in your soul is growing larger and you need something to keep it in check. Except it isn't because you have to play this game. So it's the worst of both worlds. It's not engaging, but you need to actually play it. It's horrible. However, I did cut a bit on the walking around because I had already played this game, so I knew where I had to go. But if you don't, it's going to be, well, less of a nightmare, more so of a very boring treat. Also, the dungeons are not even that great. I cannot believe people defend this as some of the best in the series. And speaking of dungeons, because I need to get this out of my chest right now, I cannot believe people say the Water Temple is a bad dungeon. As I said, I will talk about Ocarina of Time someday in the future, so I need to cut this short. But for fuck's sake, the Water Temple is actually the best temple in this game. The reason people hate it so much is because the temple where Ocarina's Floor are in full gear. It is the most dungeon-ass dungeon this game has, but it is in Ocarina. So all of the problems the game acquired while transitioning to 3D are fully apparent. And all of a sudden, when you mix a good dungeon with Ocarina, you have a bad time, who would have guessed it. That being said, this game is fine. I can throw a lot of stones in Ocarina, I have in the past, I have right now, I'll do it again in the future. But as much as this game is on a constant 2nd gear, and the highest point it gets is a 3rd gear, I don't hate it. It is kind of a cute game, not my favorite N64 game, or my favorite Zelda game by a long shot, but it was a fun experience seeing how Zelda transitioned from 2D to 3D, and having the context of all the Zeldas that came after it. I said it, I don't hate this game. The only thing in this life that I hate is oh wait, Gaia, you need to censor the name. Holy shit, we got a metal camel! It's so shit, we got the socially anxious snake to appear in the video, congratulations! Okay, so, I hate agreeing with the popular opinion. As you can tell, I just shit talked Ocarina of Time. But yeah, Prime 2 is not really that good. But let's kick this off with the things that I can praise. I like the map design here better than I liked in Prime 1. This isn't going to make much sense because, as I said, I changed the order here. Game of the Month 5 is going to be the episode where I talk about Prime 1. So this ain't going to make much sense for a while, but I have problems with Prime 1's map, and this game fixes it. I wanna say the map here is more rounded. It is a weird way of putting it, but to me the bigger areas and the tunnels that link them together are better structured. They don't feel like a straight line, they feel like an actual area to explore. And I ran out of praise. That being said, in relation to Samus, this game isn't that much different from Prime 1. Maybe aside the beams having emos. Oh my god, the beams have emos, that was a bad idea. It isn't the end of the world, I said 4 times that it is, because this is goddamn Metroid, you need the beams to open the door. And then sometimes you don't have ammo on the beam and then have shit, how the fuck do I open this door? But Samus is still the same, you play Prime 1, most people did. You're going to be right at home with this Samus. The greatest difference this game has from Prime 1 is the Dark World. Right out of A Link to the Past, huh? So Prime 1 was inspired by Super Metroid, this one was inspired by the past. I really hope Prime 3 was inspired by Mario World. I will give the Dark World this, it's a blast to explore it the first time. Really feels like fucking Metroid. It even has a Link to the Past thing where you go to the Dark World and you walk around for a little bit and come out on the Light World again. But now you're in a different place because you couldn't travel this area on the Light World itself, so you had to find a way around it. It's simple, but it's fun. But that might be the problem that completely breaks this game. This game carried over the problem from Prime 1 of having to walk around a fuck lot. And it might be worse. And something that I didn't mention before, traveling through the Dark World the first time drains your health. Not forever, but for the first 2/3 of the game, you will lose life as you walk around. And you can make the weirdest fucking argument that this is a charm of the game. And honestly, considering that this game is inspired by Alien, I kinda fuck with the idea of this game having this, let's call pressure. Some people could call it fucking nightmare, I call it pressure. Pushing down on me, pressing down on you, no man asks for. I like it, it creates a challenge. The Dark World turns this place where we go, okay, let's go, I'm ready. I can take it on. Let me at him, coach. But the problem is that they are not like, let's say, the aim is on the metroiddread. Until you get the light armor, these places will be dealing damage. And the problem arises once again when you realize a lot of this game is traveling around light and dark world, back and forth, forward and backwards. And speaking of which, something that people like to complain about this game that I personally disagree is that it has a somewhat Metroid fusion approach to it. Once you get in an area, you are locked in there until you finish it. You got on the first area, you will be stuck on the first area until you light the beacon. I kinda agree that this is not the greatest in terms of exploration, however this is Metroid Prime. In theory this is far more bearable for the game. If I had to walk around like I did in Prime 1, I would throw guy out of a window again. But the thing is, they fixed this problem of walking around between the areas, and then they fucked it up by introducing the Dark World. I do not think this game is horrible, but if I could add a subtitle to it, it would definitely be Metroid Prime 2, for the love of God, just get it done with. Not the game itself, no. It's just that there are many moments when you play the game and you think, my god, just let it in, can't take it anymore. But I'll be honest, I think this game is better than Prime 1 on some aspects. Not all of them, but some. Where this game is into gears, is fucking into gear. And that was going to be the only Metroid on this video. Well, the only actual Metroid on the Super Metroid games. We're to think that the only Metroid game here is not a Super Metroid, because the Prime series Super Metroid is Prime 1. But this is where the Metroid talk would end. But I realized something. This is a Super Metroid list, this is coming out on Metroid's birthday, and I already talked about a Metroid. So let's add another one. The first one. Yeah, I did play the first Metroid. And a curious little behind the scenes for you, it is not on the list. I don't know why. I don't know if I forgot it, if I did not want to talk about it, but it's not on the list. And since so many Metroid things aligned for this episode, let's throw the first one as well, fuck it. I like the first Metroid. Is it kind of frustrating? Yes, very. I don't know if it is Stockholm Syndrome, but I like this game. Also, let me brag for a moment, I played this game without a guide, not without a map. I don't think you can play this game without a map, but the only other help I had playing this game was my knowledge from Zero Mission. And it worked. Granted, if you have a map and general knowledge on how Metroid works, this isn't impossible. If anything, makes the game way easier. And speaking of difficulty, I know people say this game is hard, not only because it gives you no direction whatsoever, but because it is a pain in the ass to restore health. But I'll be honest, I beat this last year. I cannot remember having any difficulty whatsoever. Am I blocking it? Maybe. But honestly, considering how most enemies here are apathetic, I don't know, but I'm not here to convince you or anybody else that this game is actually easy or it is great. I'm here to say, I had fun. You know what I talked about Ocarina of Time that I think is funny to see how people back in the day thought of a 3D Zelda? It is the same idea, just way older. As much as this game was technically not the first Metroidvania, the genre was not. That's it was not. So this was uncharted territory for everybody involved. and I think it is so interesting seeing this style of game being on basically its most raw form. It is absolutely a similar vibe to the first Zelda. Is it a good game? No. Arcade as whole hell, but it is a fun experience. I did really like it. I think I like it more than Prime 2. Part of the reason is probably because I finished this game in a day. Not a day itself, I finished it within 24 hours because I played like at night one day and I finished it the following morning. Honestly, I think this game deserves a little bit more love. Similar to what I said with Zelda, if you like Metroid and you wanna see the origin of not only the series, but basically the whole genre, give it a shot. It is not as bad as people say. Plus, it is on the Broken Beach Switch Online tier, with save states and all if you're truly scared of it. Come on, give it a try. Life is gonna be way funnier if you just go fuck it all, I'm playing a broken game from 1986. You are this close to being great. Listen, Bowser's Inside Story is fun, it's great, I'll talk about this later. If you truly believe this is the best Mario and Luigi, I'll look at you dead in the eyes and say, no! I refuse to believe this is the best Mario and Luigi RPG. I refuse to believe this so much I wrote 9.5 thesis and I'm going to nail it on Nintendo's door. I mean, I can see why. I played every single Mario and Luigi game outside of Paper Jam. I just remember I spoiled something because I haven't talked about partners in time yet. All of the games have their strengths and their weakness, and they are very apparent. So which one is the best one is up for debate. And to spoil something related to Partners in Time. Partners in Time was an upgrade to Superstar Saga on many aspects, and Bowser's Inside Story is the upgrade to the upgrade. It has the best battle so far. It took what worked on Superstar Saga, it took what worked in Partners in Time, combined the two, phenomenal. I love it. It was so good. The only time we saw it change was, well, I'm not going to count the next game because the Dream Battles were a side thing, so Paper Jam. Ah, crikey, that is still just 2 games, although almost 10 years. Anyway, the battle is beautiful. I always love to battle in this game. The complete opposite to Thousand Year Door. Again, I'm spoiling things. And the rest of the game? Aww. So the Mario and Luigi part, you know, the name of the game. Completely shafted. Exploring inside Bowser is a fucking hilarious idea. Actually doing it? No, never again. Exploring inside Bowser is a real chore. It is kinda interesting seeing how the design areas themed around the insides of a person's body, of a turtle's body. But they're not good. They are both boring, long, and annoying. It's the holy trinity. But that's when I say, this isn't a Mario and Luigi game. This is a Bowser game with a Mario and Luigi skin, and 2 Italians running around your body. Are they Italians? Are they actually Italians? No, they're from Brooklyn. And that's the second half of the problem. I don't like the Bowser part as well. Well, I like it, but I don't. The thing is, I'm playing with a, I wanna say 5-meter tall giant flame-breathing turtle. Fun as hell. But I'm faced with the same problems I have with the inside of Bowser. I don't think the areas are fun. I don't wanna say this as an insult, but I'm going to. I think they are very linear. But it's not the fun type of linearity, you know, like Star Fox 64. No, these are Skyward Sword. Actually, it's not a complete Skyward Sword because I can remember the areas from Skyward Sword. I cannot remember the areas from this game. They are far from being bad, but they don't stick out in any way. The only one I actually remember is the beach, you know, the first one. But that's mostly because it was a thief beach. Okay, fine. I also remember going to Bowser's Castle, but I cannot remember shit from it. There are the moments when Mario and Luigi get out of Bowser and they can explore the world normally, and that is the best part of the game. It only comes around like once in a red moon. Also, very important things to note, the excellent timing when you play as Bowser is different, and I hate it, but to give the credit where it's due, it has a fun story. I mean, it is not the best story I've ever read, it is not even the best Mario story I've ever read, but it is a fun story. Probably because it has Fawful, that disgusting little bastard. Fucking love killing him. It is also weird how Fawful is indeed the last boss. Like, he doesn't have last boss energy, but that might make him even a better last boss. But yeah, Bowser Inside Story. The thing that really breaks the game is the exploration. That and the minigames. I forgot about those, but maybe the better way of saying it is I blocked those from my mind. My god, I hate those things. If I have to play another fucking minigame, I swear, I'm gonna lick Selena. This game was this close to being the greatest Mario and Luigi RPG, and then they blew it. Although it is interesting, I don't think we ever saw another game that did something like this where you explore somebody's Okay, I will shut up now. I just saw a funky little fit. You're gonna know when it happens, guys. And this is when they put the Wario in the pizza tower. Yes, it technically should be the other way around, but it shouldn't. You guys don't know this yet because again, swap the order. Unless you're a crazy freak who watched the actual superhero game of the year. And if that's the case, you and only you know that I actually played all the Wario Land games, except for Shake It and for the Visual Boy game. I don't wanna play the Visual Boy game, but I don't think I can convince guys to buy a Visual Boy. But why am I bringing this up? Because Wario Land 4 is such a drastic shift for the series. To be fair, all Wario Land games are, for once, fucking weird, but also different from one another. And I will say something that may be controversial. Wario Land 4 is the weirdest one that is worth a medal. In every possible level, this is a fucking departure from all previous Wario Land, let alone from Mario. At first glance, sure, to the platformer, but to all the people who play this game, they know the people that are making this were thinking out of the box and down a flight of stairs. But I will give the complaint that I had about the game, which might not be the actual complaint because it might have been my fault. I played this game on hard, so you might be thinking, you, why the fuck did you play this game on hard? And I'll be honest, I don't have a good reason. I just saw a hard mode and thought, well, I've been playing Mario my whole life, I think I'm good enough to play this on hard. So what does hard mode change for the game? Location of stuff. Something that is very important in Wario Land is exploration, and Wario Land 4 takes the exploration up to 11. To finish a world, which is a chamber. To finish a chamber, you need to find 4 pieces of a thing and a key. The key is what's gonna let you play the next level, and the rupee, the gem. You need the 4 pieces of the gem to make one big gem and put that on the boss door so you can play the boss. And you need to do this in every level. And why am I bringing this up? Well, for once to show how different this game is from everything else. And for the important reason, on hard mode, the positions of these items are swapped, and they are actually hard to find. Well, not that hard, but a little bit more complicated. You need to start bashing against every possible wall. On normal mode, pretty much all of them are in your way, let's say. As you progress through the level, you are going to find them. On hard, I boot up a map. That was the thing that broke this game for me. I should not have done hard. Although I complain about something else, I don't think this game has that great of map design. This might be because I played this last year. Wait, did I talk about my bad memory? Shit, I can't remember. Ah, see? Anyway, I can't really remember the maps, and I don't really think they were that good. None of them were bad, but I never thought, wow, what a great map! I mean, weird and creative, sure. It is Wario Land at the end of the day. But in terms of weirdness and greatness, Wario Land 2 and 3 are still better. And another thing, one of the few things people are probably familiar with this game, most likely because of Pizza Tower, is the fact that you need to destroy the level so you can open the portal and go to the next one. That is an insane thing to say. Anyway, after you reach a certain point, you need to press a switch, make a mad dash to the start. And that's kind of the other problem. I don't really think this game has a good sense of speed. Well, less so the sense of speed, more so your speed in general. The world is ending all around you, and as much as you are running for your fucking life at tremendous speed, I wish it would bite down a little bit more on the idea. What I'm trying to say is, I wish this was more like Sonic. Crack, this would work really well on a Sonic game actually. But truth be told, every complaint I have about this game is not trying to convince anyone that this is actually a bad game, it's more so trying to explain why I don't fuck with this game as hard. This is a brilliant game. I am very glad and a little bit confused as to why it got so much attention after all these years. I don't know how popular it was when it first released on the Game Boy Advance all those years ago. I want to imagine it was popular, it was well received, but it was no a Mario 64, let's say. It wasn't a game that people would point and say one of the greatest things in this planet, but somehow it recently got a cult following it. And I don't mean to brag or anything, but I'm gonna brag. I did play this game before it was popular. I didn't finish, I just said I played it. And even at the time I was thinking, man, what a weird and different and fun game. What can I say, I'm simply that genius. I wonder if Pizza Tower and Anton Blast have something to do with it. But again, this is proof of the cult following these games. We have 2 very popular indie games, directly inspired by this one. But to me, I dislike bits of it, disagree with opinion that this is the greatest Wario Land, but I can say, bloody good game. And those were the Super Metroids of the month. So, did you figure it out what a Super Metroid is? If you didn't, it's okay. You have a brain and a soul, I'm confident you can find the answer. But now I'm realizing I also don't have an outro for this one, although that is a consequence of me advancing the video. Well, I guess I'm gonna shit talk Ocarina of Time a little bit more. Or? Oh, crikey, you know me too well, mate.